Just before you retire, you reach something called the financial red zone. It's a critical time in your savings journey and a time when you have lots to consider. From pension buyouts to Social Security benefits, there will be plenty of questions. Here to help guide us through a few of these is Greg Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. Welcome, Greg.
Hi, good to be here today.
We're always happy to have you. Now, Greg, are most people generally prepared in those final years before retirement, or is that often a time of confusion and chaos?
I would say the average person is not totally prepared. There's so many things to think about, not just how much money have I saved, but how am I going to protect it from losses, from health care, from taxes, from all these things that really want to, siphon away what took you your lifetime to save up.
Let's take a question. Looking for some advice, Dana in Bexley. She says, my mother's 92 and just entered a nursing home with dementia, and the cost is nearly $7,500 a month. We've been trying to find a way to get assistance with the bills, but we're being told we can't expect any help until mom has spent her assets down to $1,500. Is this true? And if so, is there anything that can be some of her savings?
Well, what mom is going through right now is what we call Medicaid spend down, because the only government agency that helps pay for long-term care expenses is Medicaid. But Medicaid doesn't pay if you've got money, right? They're not going to use their resources till used up all of your resources. Now, there are a few things people can do. First of all, if your mother's or if your dad was a veteran, a wartime veteran, your mother may qualify for what aid and attendance benefits, which would give her approximately $1,000 a month, a little bit more than that she could use towards her care. The other thing I would suggest at this point is get in touch with a good elder law attorney. And we have some folks we could recommend if you'd like to call our office, and we'd be glad to provide that information. But an elder law attorney can help you do some planning where you may not be able to protect everything, but typically they can do a pretty good job of whether it's 30% of the savings or 40 or 50. I've even seen as much as 70% protected, depending on how far along the process and how many assets there are.
Oh, good advice. Let's hear about Bradley in Powell. Now, he says the company from which he receives his pension has just offered a buyout of nearly $650,000 if he forgoes the rest of his pension. He's 68, his wife is 64. He currently receives $47,000 per year of pension benefits, and his wife would receive 50% if he passes away first. The money looks attractive, but he says he's nervous to make the change. What are your thoughts?
Well, what I'm thinking is typically women outlive us men. You've got a $47,000 a year pension, which is nice. But if something happens to you, now you're going to have about $23,500 for your wife. That's a pretty big hit. Try living on $2,000 a month less.
Okay.
That can be a big hit. Now, what we typically do in these situations is we sit down with the family, we will look at the resources totally and look at how much we can actually provide as what we would call your own personalized pension, right? Because you're going to take your money and create an income that's going to last your lifetime. And there's strategies we use, and then we just do the math. Really, that's the big thing. Do the math and see if the numbers fit. In this case, if the numbers fit, you take the buyout, and if they don't fit, then you keep your pension.
All right, good advice. All right, Lori in Gahanna says she'll be retiring at the end of this year. She's 61, turns 62 next March. Should she take her Social Security benefits as soon as they're available, or should she wait? In addition to her pension, she will need $35,000 a year. Social Security will be around $1,700 a month at age 62. What do you think?
Well, $1,700 a month, is over 18 grand a year. And you take that for 4 years, now you've given up over right around $70,000 if you didn't take your Social Security at age 62. So the factors that you look at: longevity in the family. You expect to live in your 90s, then it might make sense to wait.
Okay.
Also, the amount of other resources you have, because if we need to generate income on top of Social Security, and then we also need to generate income with the money that would be your Social Security dollars, now we have to make sure there's enough resources to last. So sometimes it makes sense to do 62, sometimes again to wait till 66, depending on those two things.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. And please don't go far. Coming up, if you're stressed about saving enough, stick around to learn how to make your retirement one to look forward to.